Hello, fans. Back with a new and in-depth episode of Euroball Talk. Today, I'll tackle an essential topic for young athletes: managing expectations and pressure. We'll delve into the challenges they face, discuss practical strategies for overcoming them, and provide examples through certain names from Europe and the NBA of how on-court situations that turn into off-court issues can be managed. Don't forget, we're offering a free 1-hour consultation for young players and their families. Just click on the Linktree link in the description and book your session. Now, let's dive in. The world of professional basketball can be overwhelming for young players, especially in Europe, with intense expectations and pressure coming from various sources. Let's break down these challenges and how to address them. First up, self-imposed pressure. While many players set unrealistic expectations for themselves, which can lead to anxiety, stress, and even burnout, here are 5 ways to overcome self-imposed pressure with examples from specific European basketball players. 1, set achievable goals. Break down your long-term objectives into small, manageable goals. The earlier on you do this, the better it will be for you to formulate on how you seek out growth long-term. For example, Luka Doncic. He focused on improving his skill set step by step from a very young level, from a very young age. And he became the MVP of the Euroleague and now thrives in the NBA. Embrace the growth mindset. Understand that setbacks and failures are a part of the process and learn from it. An example, take inspiration from Dirk Nowitzki, who overcame early struggles in his career. While at Wurzburg, he practically was not, let's say, looking at being such a skyrocketed, amazing player, but through practice and doing specific training sessions, he became amazingly well and was drafted by the NBA. Sounds silly to call it, but bear in mind that Nowitzki, before even being that amazing prospect from Germany, he had to go through that amazing training regimen to become the legendary player that he is and the NBA champion, obviously. So it's always good to keep that in mind. Practice self-reflection. Be kind to yourself when you face setbacks. Example of a player, Ricky Rubio, for instance. When he entered the professional basketball scene, he was extremely young. He got hyped up to be something amazing, which he actually was. He was a very good young star, but through time, as he evolved and he settled down, he became a part of the golden age of Spanish basketball. And later on, he also moved into playing in the NBA. And there he actually faced challenges as he adapted his game. And in the process, throughout his career, he's got injured numerous times, but throughout every single stretch of injuries, he's continued to work on his skill set and his mindset as well, which has led him to a solid and long-term career so far. Next, managing perfectionism. This one is pretty tough to peg and tough to kind of, let's say, go through, but recognize that perfection is unattainable and strive for excellence instead of basically trying to attain that perfectionist mindset. An example potentially could be, for instance, Pau Gasol. He might have had off games here and there, but Pau Gasol has potentially always been a consistent guy, and his hard work ethic has made him a success story regardless. And again, a reason why I would pick Pau Gasol other than any other name from Europe would be the fact that of that work ethic that I just mentioned. I mean, day in, day out, he practically had put in numerous hours of pretty much working on being excellent in what he actually would do. Creating a balanced life. Now, pursue interests and hobbies outside of basketball and reduce pressure to yourself. And in this day and age, I know that that is hard. I mean, a lot of young players these days, they focus on playing video games to try to take their minds off of things or focus on other things. A player that I love to be around, he, for instance, is interested in photography. An example that I'll give specifically, for instance, is Tony Parker. In the past, it's been known that he has this love of wine and cheese, and his involvement in various business ventures, for instance, also keeps him on his toes and also creates a, let's say, different kind of balance for him. And throughout his NBA career, that's also been something that he's also grown through as well. Now, moving on, external pressure from coaches can be, let's say, a certain thing that you also do see throughout a young player as a career. So consider this. You want to succeed, and there are certain expectations that you have to fulfill. And this can be suffocating at times. How do you address these? Well, be open in terms of communication. Maintain an honest dialogue with your coach and your teammates about your feelings and your needs. I'll give you an example, for instance, this way. So, Jaskevicius is a very well-known and successful coach right now, but he was also a very well-known high-level player. He is also well-known for implementing different styles of communication, which help him and the players that he actually coaches build up very strong relationships. And that could be potentially something you should always take into consideration as a young basketball player. Seek feedback. Actively seek constructive criticism from your coach and your teammates to improve your skills and performance. This one is going to likely sound really off, but I do know it to be a fact. Željko Obradović has the ability to provide really valuable feedback to his players. And the most, let's say, interesting thing is that he does this at really very critical parts during the course of games. And he can do this on and off the court to help them grow and develop like no other. I've really had the luck of really witnessing this through games and even through training sessions that I've seen. So this is a very, very interesting thing to definitely take into consideration. Next thing, focus on, remember that basketball is a team sport after all. Share the responsibility of success and failure with your teammates and support each other through challenges. Think of this side, guys. So a coach I love throughout Europe is Coach Ettore Messina. He has consistently emphasized teamwork and collaboration, and his method of teaching basketball comes with patience. I've had the luck of being around Coach Messina very briefly last summer in Vegas, as he was a part of a very special clinic, and I got to witness how he actually coaches one of his players currently playing at Olympia Milano. And amazingly enough, the kind of guidance that he provides, the kind of patience that he actually works out a player with is tremendous. It's seriously amazing. But to be able to get to that level, you need to also show that you're willing to share responsibility and also focus on how teamwork really is at the center of what you want to try to achieve. Now, next thing, so setting boundaries. Know your limits and communicate them to others. Now, I know this is tough, and Don't be afraid to say no to certain commitments. If you need to rest or you need time to focus on your own well-being. Now, in Europe, this is a really, really tough thing to go through, and it's hard to establish. And keep up with this in mind. I mean, with communicating this as a young player, it's always going to be in your advantage and hopefully will help you out even further. Build a support network, develop relationships with mentors, friends, and family members who can provide guidance and encouragement. I'll give you, for instance, the example of Dimitris Itoudis, currently the head coach of Fenerbahce. He's known for fostering an extremely supportive environment throughout his players, and that really makes them thrive. I've seen this, that he basically has done this through his time at SKA while he was in Moscow. And I've also, in part, witnessed this as he's actually also head coached Fenerbahce to this point. Yeah, he utilizes very different number of team building tactics and really does implement them well. As a side note to always take into consideration, understanding and adapting yourself as a young basketball player to different coaching approaches is crucial for your development in general. It's essential to remain open to feedback and be willing to adjust to various coaching styles. And this is going to show that you're flexible and will help other players to develop and will potentially be a way for you to succeed at the competitive side of the game. Lastly, I'll go on to this. So, on-court situations turning into off-court challenges. Now, let's explore how on-court situations can lead to off-court challenges. For instance, if you miss a critical shot or you miss a critical inbounds circumstance, it's easy that this kind of mistakes really affect your confidence. It can even spill over to affecting your off-court relationships and even affect your mental health. So here are certain strategies that you can actually use to pretty much go over these kind of challenges. Learn from experience. Analyze the situation and determine what you can do better for next time. Use the experience as a learning opportunity and not just a source of shame. An example from the NBA. I mean, it's been now years, but I mean, like, Ray Allen practiced his shooting relentlessly. And after missing a crucial shot in the playoffs, I'm not going to pinpoint exactly which one, but he basically has missed certain shots, obviously. And ultimately, for the 2013 NBA Finals, and he hits that game-winning shot. So let that be, for instance, an example that you can take into consideration. Practice forgiveness. Accept that you are human and you will make mistakes. The game that we play is a team sport and it is prone to having you make mistakes. If you do not forgive yourself, and you will not be able to move forward. Early on in his career, Steph Curry had been very injury prone, but he turned out to be one of the best damn shooters of the NBA, and especially historically speaking, he can shoot the lights out. But for him to get to that point, he really had to prove that performance-wise, he needed to change the mindset, and a part of that came from practicing self-forgiveness. I mean, it was not his own fault, after all, the fact that he got injured so frequently, but he improved on his, let's say, physical abilities, and now he's striving. Well, that leads to the next thing. So developing mental resilience. So I've already discussed this in certain parts in player talk as well, but I'll, over here at Euroball talk as well, mention this very briefly. Build mental strength through techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, and visualization. These practices can really help you manage stress and allow you to bounce back from setbacks. An example from the NBA, for instance, is Kevin Love, who has been pretty open about his struggles with anxiety and use these techniques of, for instance, visualization and deep breathing to actually seek out better well-being. Stay present and focus on the next play. Dwelling on past mistakes can lead to decreased performance. Learning how to refocus your mind on the present moment and the next play is very, very critical. This mentality helped actually a guy like Klay Thompson achieve record break scoring games. For instance, the 37-point quarter that he had back in 2015, after that slow start to that game, is a very good example of exactly what you can achieve. All in all, I hope all these provide you, let's say, a glimpse of what I go through with players as a mentor and with regards to the advice that I actually do provide. So that's it for today. I hope this was a comprehensive episode of Euroball Talk for you all. Remember, we're offering a free 1-hour consultation to help you navigate through the world of professional basketball. Just click on the Linktree link in the description to book your session. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe for more content on European basketball and the scene generally. Again, this was Armani, and I will see you next time on Euroball.